July 2025. The desert heat hits 45 degrees Celsius, and the neon skyline of Las Vegas still burns bright. But behind the dazzling glow lies a cold reality. Visitor numbers have fallen by 11% compared to last summer. At Harry Reid International Airport, taxi lines that once snagged out to the parking lot now move quietly. On the Strip, America's most famous boulevard of excess, entire floors of luxury hotels remain dark because there simply aren't enough guests. For over half a century, Las Vegas stood as the ultimate American dream, a mirage of pleasure, freedom, and endless energy. But the summer of 2025 marks the beginning of something darker, a silent tourism crisis. Billboards for Celine Dion, U2, and Cirque du Soleil still flash across the desert night, yet ticket sales have dropped nearly 15%. Buffets, once considered Vegas icons, now advertise buy one, get one free deals to attract locals. So what's really happening? Are rising room rates and hidden resort fees driving visitors away? Or has the middle-class traveler, the very backbone of Vegas tourism, finally decided that the city is no longer worth the cost? The paradox is striking. The lights of Vegas shine brighter than ever, but the rooms behind them grow darker by the day. And unless something changes soon, the summer of 2025 may be remembered not for the heat of its nights, but as the turning point when the world's most famous playground lost its magic.
To understand the 11% drop, we have to look beneath the glitter, at the numbers behind the neon. According to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, LVCVA, visitor arrivals in Q2 2025 reached 9.3 million, compared to 10.5 million during the same period last year. That's not just a small dip. It's the sharpest quarterly decline since the post-pandemic recovery. International visitors, who typically spend the most per trip, fell by 18%, with notable declines from Canada, Japan, and South Korea. Even domestic tourism, particularly from California, which has always been Vegas's lifeblood, dropped by 8%. Analysts point to three main reasons. 1. Record high travel costs. The average nightly room rate along the Strip hit $212, up nearly 19% from 2023. Add in the average resort fee of $45 per night, parking charges of $20 and city taxes, and a 3-night stay for two can easily top $1,000 before airfare. For a city once known as affordable luxury, Vegas now feels closer to New York or Dubai, without the same international cachet. 2. A slowing U.S. economy. Persistent inflation and high credit card debt have squeezed the American middle class. Airline fuel prices rose 12% during the first half of 2025, pushing domestic flight tickets to new highs. The result? Families are choosing road trips and small-town resorts over the desert spectacle of Las Vegas. 3. A shift in traveler priorities. Younger travelers, Gen Z and millennials, no longer crave the all-night parties and casino floors their parents once loved. They prefer personalized experiences, nature escapes, and wellness retreats. Vegas, with its image of party without limits, is struggling to adapt to that new mindset. Across the Strip, the change is visible. Empty blackjack tables, bartenders waiting for orders that never come, lounge singers performing to half-filled rooms. Las Vegas, a city built on constant motion, suddenly feels still. And the most alarming part? Experts warn this is not a temporary dip, but a structural shift in how people define value, pleasure, and escape. Vegas may be facing not just a slow season, but the end of an era. The 2025 tourism crisis didn't appear overnight. It was years in the making, a slow unraveling of a business model that forgot what made Las Vegas special in the first place: value, emotion, and wonder.
After the pandemic, corporate giants like Caesars Entertainment, MGM Resorts, and Wynn faced mounting debts and soaring operational costs. Their solution seemed simple and short-sighted: charge more for less. The resort fee mirage. Once a minor annoyance, resort fees have now become the symbol of Vegas's decline. Guests pay an extra $45 to $55 per night for amenities most never use: fitness centers, daily newspapers, and Wi-Fi. On social media, tourists mock it as a legal way to steal money. Subreddits like r/Vegas are flooded with posts titled "Vegas isn't worth it anymore," amassing millions of views. The backlash isn't just emotional, it's existential. For a city built on illusion, the line between fun fantasy and real frustration has never been thinner. The price of a night out. Buffets that once symbolized Vegas' abundance now reflect its excess. The Bellagio buffet, once $45, now costs nearly $80. A mid-tier U2 concert at the Sphere, the city's futuristic new icon, can set a couple back $600 for average seats. Add a weekend stay and some cocktails, and the total easily surpasses $1,800 to $2,000 for a 3-day trip. For many travelers, that's the cost of a vacation in Japan, Thailand, or the Mediterranean, destinations offering authenticity Vegas can't replicate. The loss of the middle-class soul. Vegas was once every man's paradise, where a construction worker could feel like a king for a weekend. Now it's morphing into a gated luxury enclave for the wealthy, stripped of the warmth that once made it human. The average American, Vegas's most loyal audience for half a century, is quietly walking away. The self-inflicted wound. In a desperate attempt to maintain profits, casinos have turned to online gambling and sports betting platforms. Ironically, the success of those digital ventures have cannibalized their own core product, the in-person Vegas experience. The very companies that built the Strip are now draining it. Vegas's leadership still insists it's just a seasonal adjustment, but industry analysts know better. This is a structural collapse of trust when customers stop believing that what they're paying for is worth it. Because in the end, Las Vegas didn't lose visitors to the economy or inflation. It lost them to disappointment. And once people stop believing in the magic, no amount of neon can bring it back.
When the tourists stop coming, Las Vegas doesn't just lose money, it loses people and stories. Along Tropicana Avenue, diners that once buzzed with morning crowds now echo with silence. Maria, a 42-year-old buffet waitress who has worked the Strip for 15 years, wipes down an empty table and sighs, "This summer, I'm lucky to work 3 days a week. Tips are half what they used to be. Sometimes I have to choose between gas and groceries." According to the Nevada Department of Employment, more than 7,800 jobs in the hospitality and tourism sectors vanished in just the first 2 months of summer. Major hotels have quietly switched to self-service models. Fewer housekeepers, fewer front desk clerks, more kiosks, more robots. The warmth and personality that defined Vegas hospitality are being replaced by automation and cost-cutting. Meanwhile, in the nearby suburb of Henderson, rent prices continue to climb, a cruel twist of fate. As tourist traffic drops, real estate investors pull back from hotel projects, tightening the local housing supply. The result? Rents for small apartments have jumped 9% year over year, pricing out the very workers who keep the city alive. Schools, too, feel the ripple effect. A local elementary teacher recalls, "We used to have summer art programs funded by hotel grants. This year, they're gone. The kids don't know why, but we do. Vegas is sick." For decades, Las Vegas sold itself as Disneyland for adults. Now it's becoming a case study in economic fragility, a city so dependent on pleasure that a single downturn threatens its soul. The casino lights still glow, but for thousands of residents, those lights have become a cruel reminder, symbols of wealth they help create but can no longer touch. They drive past million-dollar marquees on their way home to overworked apartments and fading dreams. And while corporate press releases talk about efficiency and optimization, the people who built this city, the servers, the valets, the musicians, the cleaners, are the ones paying the price. As one cab driver said quietly outside an empty hotel entrance, Vegas used to be about making everyone feel like a winner. Now it feels like we're the only ones who lost.
From the air, Las Vegas still glows like a circuit board in the desert, an oasis of light surrounded by endless darkness. But beneath that glow, the machine that powered it for decades is breaking down. The old Vegas model, built on casinos, entertainment, and hotels, is no longer sustainable. Casinos, losing the gamble. For decades, casinos were the city's beating heart, but in 2025, that heart is skipping beats. The explosion of online gambling has changed everything. More than 30 US states now allow digital betting, giving gamblers access to the same thrill without ever setting foot in Nevada. Revenues from physical casinos have dropped 8.7% in the first half of 2025, while online platforms have doubled their profits. Ironically, many of the same corporations behind the Strip, MGM, Caesars, Wynn, are also behind those apps. In chasing new revenue streams, they've begun cannibalizing the very experience that built their empire. Vegas is losing to Vegas, the digital version. Entertainment, when luxury builds walls. The entertainment scene once made Vegas unique, glamorous, spontaneous, electric, but rising costs have turned it into a gated playground. Show tickets that once cost $90 now start at $250, with VIP packages hitting $1,000. Attendance has fallen by 20%, and entire theater sections sit empty even during headline acts. The younger audience, who grew up streaming Coachella from their phones, now chooses immersive festivals in Austin, Nashville, or abroad. The Strip's luxury has become its isolation. Hotels, the death of affordable fun. Vegas used to offer something for everyone, from the family budget hotel to the five-star suite. But over the years, the balance vanished. Mid-tier hotels like Flamingo and Excalibur, once symbols of approachable fun, have been remodeled into sterile search luxury light brands. The average guest now spends 35% more per stay and leaves 20% faster. As one industry insider put it, Vegas stopped being a playground and became a spreadsheet. The identity crisis. The irony is poetic. A city built on reinvention now struggles to reinvent itself. It once thrived by selling fantasy, the idea that anyone, rich or poor, could feel infinite for a weekend. Now, by chasing only the wealthy, it has lost the inclusivity that made it magical. If Las Vegas doesn't adapt, analysts warn it could become the Detroit of the tourism industry, a monument to overconfidence and mismanagement. The signs are already there: shrinking hotel occupancy, flat revenue growth, and an aging brand image. But history shows Vegas has one advantage few cities possess: an unmatched instinct for survival. The question now is whether it can rediscover its soul before the lights finally dim. Despite the headlines of decline, some still believe Las Vegas isn't dying. It's evolving. If history has taught us anything, it's that this city knows how to turn collapse into comeback. And 2025 might just be the beginning of its next transformation. Redefining the Vegas experience. For decades, Vegas sold indulgence. Now it must sell meaning. New resorts like Fontainebleau and Resorts World are experimenting with wellness luxury, combining spa therapy, sensory design, and digital detox spaces. They're marketing Vegas as a place to recharge, not just escape. It's a subtle but powerful shift from Sin City to Soul City, from casinos to experiences. The Formula One Grand Prix in 2024 brought more than 300,000 visitors and global attention. But city planners know one mega event isn't enough. The goal now is a year-round calendar: esports tournaments, digital art expos, film festivals, and music residencies that appeal to younger, tech-savvy travelers. Vegas wants to be the capital of live experience, not just gambling and shows. Diversifying the visitor base. Vegas can no longer rely solely on domestic tourists.
The LVCVA is aggressively expanding in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, with new direct flights from Seoul, Doha, and Frankfurt. They're also launching packages for small groups, families, and long-stay guests, audiences less sensitive to short-term costs. It's a return to inclusivity, the idea that everyone, not just the elite, has a place in Vegas. Going green in the desert. In a city famous for excess, sustainability has become the unexpected buzzword. The Green Strip initiative, led by researchers from UNLV, aims to make Vegas a model of solar energy, water recycling, and eco-conscious construction. It's both a necessity and an image reboot, proof that Vegas can innovate beyond luxury. Reinvention won't happen overnight, but Vegas has always thrived on reinvention. From mob-run casinos to megastar residencies, from bankrupt hotels to billion-dollar arenas. It's not just a city, it's a story that refuses to end. And maybe, just maybe, this crisis isn't the beginning of Vegas's downfall, but the spark for its next golden age.
Fast forward 5 years. It's the summer of 2030, and the skyline of Las Vegas glitters once again, but differently this time. The lights are cooler, cleaner, quieter. The air feels lighter, powered by fields of solar panels stretching across the Mojave Desert. Visitors step out of the airport into a city that has learned restraint. Resort fees are gone, replaced by experience credits that reward travelers for exploring local culture, restaurants, and art. The casino floors still hum with energy, but they're smaller, smarter, integrated with esports arenas and immersive theaters. The Strip has evolved. Where once there were endless replicas, pyramids, Eiffel Towers, Venetian canals, now stand hybrid entertainment hubs that mix technology, sustainability, and storytelling. A visitor can meditate at sunrise in a desert wellness dome, dine in a zero-waste restaurant at noon, and watch an AI-driven holographic concert by night. Vegas has become not a symbol of excess, but of reinvention. But the transition wasn't easy. Thousands of small businesses vanished along the way. Entire generations of hospitality workers had to reskill or relocate. The city paid a price for its rebirth, a reminder that survival often demands sacrifice. Yet through that pain, Las Vegas rediscovered what made it extraordinary, not just the glitter, but the audacity to reinvent itself again and again. As one city planner put it in a 2030 interview, Vegas has always been a mirage. The trick isn't to make people believe it's real, it's to make them want to believe again. The lights still shine in the desert, but now, perhaps for the first time in decades, they're shining for a reason.
In the end, Las Vegas has always been more than a place. It's a mirror, reflecting everything America dreams, fears, and hides. It was born from nothing but sand and ambition, built by gamblers, dreamers, and outcasts who believed that light could conquer darkness. Now, once again, that light flickers. But Vegas has never been afraid of the dark. Every time the city has fallen, the recession of 2008, the pandemic of 2020, and now the tourism crash of 2025, it's risen again, brighter, louder, bolder. Because Vegas isn't built on certainty, it's built on faith. Faith that tomorrow's bet might just pay off. So when you next see the Strip from the airplane window, ask yourself, are you looking at a city in decline or the opening act of its greatest reinvention yet? This is City Exposed, uncovering the truth behind the neon glow.